Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is a video that was submitted by a user named Wade in the comments, and I believe it's a craft that was seen from a plane. I also have this video here from 2014 that shows a UFO popping out from behind this cloud as this plane passes. Let's see, and this is also an older video that I found on Reddit, and it shows some kind of light or craft or something behind some trees. Very interesting. This is a what looks to be a TR-3B, the Aurora. Also have this 13-minute compilation from the Phoenix Lights incident in Arizona from 1997. And this is a video about some guy who was at the Dugway Proving Grounds, which is considered the Area 52, or, you know, after Area 51, or after people found out about Area 51, the military supposedly moved everything to Dugway Proving Grounds, I think it's called. And this guy was up there, and he caught some photos of some strange things. Also found this image on my Facebook. You know, this guy's saying, "Explain this." It's very interesting. It shows what looks like Aztecs or Mayans or someone worshiping a craft. Also have this video about pyramids that are found all over the planet, and this is about like the pyramids that were found in Bosnia, but it, you know, basically goes into how there must have been some type of civilization in the ancient past that was going around building these pyramids all over the planet. And then, you know, and then when these other primitive civilizations came in, they just happened to use what was already there. So we'll take a look at that. And let's see. Also have this article here. Talks about what Lou Elizondo said, that Earth is a zoo ruled by aliens. And then last, you know, this is something I just found. I decided to throw it in as an extra bonus. This is a warning. This next image I'm going to show you is pretty wild, but it's of a someone who claims to be 106 years old, or no, 109-year-old Buddhist monk lying in a bed. And this guy is literally a skeleton. He is a living skeleton who's alive. So yeah, again, fair warning. What you're going to see next is supposedly a 109-year-old Thai Buddhist monk. So that's just the small image there. But this guy, lying in bed, he's alive. 109-year-old Tibetan monk. So we'll take a look at that. So anyways, let's go to this video here. Yeah, now this is a long video. It's like 23 minutes long. This guy basically is doing, you know, what I'm doing. He's talking about, you know, all these other weird things, like let's see, this is at 1930. Like here, this is something that I've shown, you know, like this craft here, cruising down the street. I think I've done like a couple.
Or whatever this is, walking down the street, or just hovering.
You know, that. And then, you know, he's got some other like weird magic tricks here. Like this guy does this thing where he can part this water. I don't know how he does it. This is where he's saying that there's some kind of creature behind Obama, but really what's interesting, you know, and then some other stuff, but what's really interesting is this last video here, which seems to show a plane having an encounter with a UFO. So let's see, let me just start it right here. Check this out.
Oh my God!
I mean, like, this is amazing video.
Okay, so anyways, let me just stop it right there. You know, I'll put the link to this video in the description, but it looks like that, you know, that lighted craft or something came popping out of the clouds as these people were flying over. So anyways, a link will be in the description. Now this one here, this is happens real quick. This is from 2014, but you're going to see this craft here pop out from this cloud just as this plane passes. So check this out here. Wow, did you see that? It popped out from right here. Let me just back that up a little again. Did you see that thing just pop out from right here? Now he's going to zoom in a little tighter. Bang. Anyways, that's that video. Link will be in the description. Let's go to this one here. Yeah, now this is I found on Reddit. I'm going to go ahead and play the whole thing because, you know, these things generally disappear. Well, many times you hear about balls of light, you know, being seen through the forest or something like that. Well, there's one right there. A link will be in the description. Let's see. This was from Twitter. Now, I think this guy said this was filmed in Canada. Don't know when, though. Let me go full screen on this. Let's see. It's only 27 seconds long, so I'll be able to play the whole thing here, too. Let's see. Well, that's that. You know, at first I thought this was like the Aurora, the TR-3B, and I thought it was just a triangle craft, but it looks more like a pyramid-shaped craft. Yeah, don't know, you know, any context behind that, if it's from some video or anything like that, or if it's real. Anyways, link will be in the description. This video here, yeah, you know, I'm going to go ahead and play a lot of this, because again, this is from Reddit, and, you know, I'm not going to get hit with any copyright violations, but yeah, hopefully I will put the, you know, the link and it actually stays up, because a lot of times these videos on Reddit end up disappearing. But anyways, check out this.
It's blocking and unblocking the stars. And I said, God, what is that? What was it made of? It was almost like it was shadow material.
It appeared, we thought that night, maybe 600 to 900 feet long on each arm of this object. And it was perfectly symmetrical. It blended into the sky extremely well.
It was more like a boomerang than like a straight V, and then the lights were spaced pretty evenly.
It was actually 5 lights that were a V, 1 in front and 2 on each side, and it was perfect. It was a perfect triangle.
If you can imagine something the size of Camelback Mountain floating down Scottsdale Road, you have some idea of the intensity of this thing.
The object we saw, if we opened up a newspaper, you could not block out the object that we saw.
People say, Mike, now you saw a B-2 bomber. My response was we could land all 40 of our B-2 bombers on the wing of that craft.
You know, it's one of the biggest things I've ever seen that moved like that. I mean, it was just enormous.
It happened last night, and eyewitnesses who saw it say it's like nothing they've ever seen before.
I don't know if it was as big as an aircraft carrier. It might have been. Because I've never seen an aircraft carrier fly.
It barely missed that mountain.
Really?
Yeah, came floating over.
So had you not looked up, you wouldn't have known it was
No,
there.
my daughter, it was 8:30 at night. My daughter was coming over here, and she ran in and said, "Mom, you have got to see this." So we all...
There was such an uproar about what people described seeing that we also did a story about it back in 1997. The first report of a strange flying object came at about 8:20 that night from a former police officer in Paulden, Arizona. Over the next 40 minutes, people gave similar reports of an object along a 200-mile route south to Phoenix and Tucson.
It was gunmetal black. It wasn't shiny. It wasn't invisible. It was more of a dull bluish black color.
And we both just stayed there and looked at it for a couple minutes, and it was completely silent. When you look down the street on a hot day in Phoenix, above the street's like it's really wavy, and you see everything kind of distorted, and that's what it looked like up inside the middle of the craft.
It was just gliding, and then it stopped, and then it, like, the sides retracted a little, and then it was gone.
Just went acceleration to deceleration. It was no noise the whole time.
And not a sound.
Security guard Bob Nelson was sitting on his porch with his dog.
All at once, these 6 or 7 lights came across the top of the hill, and it was moving very slow. And then I went in and jokingly said to my wife, "We got a UFO coming over." She just couldn't believe what she seen. And then, of course, she didn't know what she seen.
Sue Watson and her children, Brian, Aaron, and Kevin, were in their front yard.
We saw this incredible sized vehicle. There were 5 huge lights in the very front of it, and it was in a boomerang shape. I'm only 1.5 miles from that mountain, the top of that mountain. That vehicle spent 5 to 6 minutes hovering from that mountain to my house. I don't know anything that can go that slow.
It was absolutely silent, just completely gliding, just like part of the sky, just a big, big, big platform, just flying with lights in front of it. I could see it was covering stars, so I knew it was something solid.
Sheriff's Deputy Thomas Chavez was in his squad car.
I was sitting here facing to the east, watching the intersection, and on one of the times when I glanced up for my paperwork, that's when I saw the strange set of lights. I can't give you a definite answer to what it was. All I can tell you what it was not, and it was definitely not an aircraft as we know it.
Mike Fortson grabbed his binoculars and went outside with his wife.
As it passed in front of us, all we could see was the left wing of the craft itself. That's how low it was. We didn't go fetch a camera. We didn't do anything but sit there and watch it. You actually tell yourself not to blink because you might miss something. I mean, that's how intense it was. It gives me goosebumps when I talk about it.
I know what I saw, and it was something that I've never seen before and probably will never see again. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It was something that is not from here, and that's what's so intriguing to me about it, that it's unknown, the unknown of it.
I am so certain of what I saw that I would testify in a court of law or in a congressional hearing as to what I saw, because what I saw was not an aircraft.
I think it was a UFO. I honestly believe that there was a UFO. You don't have to believe me. Nobody believes it. But you'll believe it when you see it.
Witnessed a massive boomerang-shaped formation of lights on March 13, 1997. The so-called Phoenix Lights incident. Former Arizona Governor Fife Symington has said that he witnessed a huge, otherworldly object that same night. With Monica's Aaron Watson, Monica's sister, who also witnessed the Phoenix Lights. All right, Monica, take us back. What did you see on March 13th, 1997?
Hi, Larry. I was actually at my parents' house that night. They lived just at the base of a large mountain, Camelback Mountain, there in Phoenix. And I was talking on the phone, and I saw an enormous boomerang-shaped row of lights come right on top of the mountain. In fact, the first time I saw it, I thought it was a rescue mission, because hikers often get stuck on top of that Camelback Mountain. And when I realized the enormity of the object on the mountain, I ran inside to get as many family members as I could, so we could try to figure out what it was together. We could put our heads together to figure out what it was.
Were you scared?
No, not at all initially. Really not at all. the whole time. I guess there was no point I thought that I wasn't going to figure out what it was.
There was no sound either.
Yeah. So
Okay. And there was no sound, right?
completely silent. Yeah, completely silent.
Aaron, how did you react?
It was just kind of an amazing sight. I just was more wondering what it was and what kind of craft. To me, the most shocking thing was the silence. I was like, how can this huge object in the air that was the size of, I compared it to 2 cruise ships almost. It was like a sitting in the air, not make any sound. It was just, it was crazy.
Where did it go?
It flew right. I mean, it was several minutes. It was 4 minutes or so that we were able to observe it. And ultimately it flew south behind our house. And then ultimately quickly out of sight.
Did you, I guess many people reported this, right?
Yeah, we hear 10,000. Yeah, we hear tens of thousands of people.
Simon.
Anyways, let me just stop that right there. Here's where, the clip where Fife Simonton tries to ridicule it. And then later on, he acknowledges that he purposely lied because he didn't want to alarm people. But, one thing I want to point out is, that giant boomerang-shaped object has been seen throughout history. It has been reported multiple times. But one thing that's never been reported is anyone seeing something that large entering into our solar system. You know what I mean? We have, I'm sure there are thousands of amateur astronomers out there with their telescopes pointed out into space. And I've never heard one of them, report seeing a giant boomerang-shaped object, out there. Now, there are reports of people who have seen the giant cigar-shaped UFOs out there, but, never the boomerang-shaped. Anyways, link to this will be in the description. Yeah, this is, it's really, really long. It's 13 minutes long. Hopefully, like I said on Reddit, a lot of times they disappear, but I'll provide the link and hopefully it's still there. Anyways, now this video here, this is about this guy who went to the, I think the Dunaway test range or something like that, and he photographed some strange objects. So let me just back this up where he tells the story of how he caught this. Again, he calls them visitors, right? But do you honestly think that if we're testing something on Earth, that these guys are coming from another dimension, a faraway planet, or from the future? Or does it make more sense that they're coming up out of the oceans? And like I said, they're going, what the hell are these mindless talking monkeys doing now? So then they got to monitor us. Anyways, link to this will be in the description. Let's go to this video. Oh yeah, this is actually just an image. Again, I have no idea whether this is real. There's really nothing in here saying what it's from, but I believe this is one of the artifacts that was found from Mexico. When they found out, some other ancient artifacts depicting what seemed to be the gray aliens and things like that, carved out of marble and jade and things like that. But yeah, very interesting. Looks like some elongated head. I mean, this, you know what, this may be a still from the Aliens movie. Is that what this is? Or the Predator movie or something? Anyways, yeah, I have no idea what this is. Link will be in the description. Let's see. Now, this is a 6-minute video talking about these pyramids that have been found all over the planet. And here, pyramid structures from around the world. So again, this is evidence that there were highly advanced civilizations occupying planet Earth before the Great Flood. And something happened and it wiped all these people out, and this is what's left. But yeah, this is talking about, I think these are the Bosnian pyramids that are supposed to be huge. And then I also wanted to point out these here. These are found in the Russian mountains, but these people believe that this is the ancient remnants of a pyramid based on the segmented rocks and this angle, that this is not necessarily natural. Let me see if I can just play a little bit of this.
Archaeologists climbing the top of the alleged monuments have found remnants of ancient megalithic walls consisting of 3 layers of overlaid stones glued together using clay, a material which provides extensive protection from pluvial waters, and it's also an excellent choice when binding stones. Probably the most intriguing aspect of the fortification was the thick reddish-brown layer of material composed of mineral oxides which covered the exterior wall of the pyramid. Based on this plaster covering even the cracks between stones, researchers were able to date the structure using a technique known as radiestesia, which yielded gripping results. The stones appeared to be 25 to 25,000 years of age.
Yeah, now, and where this is, it's in an area in Russia that no roads lead to. And you can see, with all the tree growth that this has definitely been up there for a very long time. So again, more evidence that, currently, what we've been taught about our development is it's all lies, complete lies. There's definitely were advanced civilizations living, occupying planet Earth, and and that's why I think there's so many theories as to where Atlantis is. Like people keep saying Atlantis is here, Atlantis is here, no, Atlantis is here. I think in the past there must have been multiple highly advanced cities, and which is why so many people keep attributing different locations as Atlantis. I think there were multiple cities that were occupied by highly advanced beings, and today we or in the past they were all just considered Atlantis. But anyways, link to this will be in the description. Now here is the article I talked about in my last video, where Lou Elizondo says that Earth is a zoo ruled by aliens. Let's see, here's what Elizondo says. What if it turns out that there is another species that is even higher on this ladder than we are? Do we need the social institutions that we have today? Do we need the state and religious organizations that we have today if it turns out that there is something else or someone else technologically more advanced and possibly more advanced from an evolutionary point of view? Are we wasting all this time, or are we doing exactly what we should be doing? What if it turns out that humanity is actually just another animal in the zoo? If we saw ourselves in the role of the zookeeper before, then maybe we are just another exhibit inside the zoo. What would this mean to us? There would come a time when we have to come to terms with ourselves, whatever that means, whatever philosophical point of view you take. This will affect all of us, and I think this is important. Are we in a situation where history may need to be rewritten? That's what I meant. Again, if you just read between the lines, because of his, NDAs, he cannot come out and tell you that there are more advanced beings living on the planet and monitoring us, again, treating us like they're zoo animals. I'm sure for some people that may be hard to grasp. I mean, believe me, it took, at my age, when I finally came to that realization, it took me several weeks to just come to terms with that idea. Because it's definitely, a complete shift. You go back to when Copernicus and Galileo were trying to tell, all the idiots out there that, the Earth is not the center of the universe, right? And we know what happened to Galileo. So, yeah, people have a hard time changing, their belief systems. But hey, you're going to have to, because that is the reality of the facts today. But anyways, let's get to this last video here. Now, warning, warning, warning. This last video is of a 109-year-old Thai Buddhist monk, 109, mind you. And, I recently found out that a lot of times when you see statues of monks, of Buddhist monks, they look all emaciated because it has something to do with, when they know they're going to die, they supposedly go through this thing, or it may be some, I don't completely remember, but it might be also, something that they go through where they don't eat, and they think they can live off the air. And I guess, I don't think they can live off the air. They obviously are living off the air. But anyways, so yeah, so here is an actual living example of, of a monk who I guess that's how he got this look. But anyways, warning, this next image or this next link is pretty graphic. It's going to show, like I said, a 109-year-old Thai monk lying in bed, and he looks like a living skeleton. So anyways, check this out.
มาฝั่งนี้สิลูกมือหลวงพ่อใหญ่จะได้ถูก จะทำหลวงพ่อใหญ่แรงหลายเบาๆเจ็บอะไร
Man, I'd be like, bro, just eat a burger. Just eat something. But can you imagine this guy looking in the mirror going, oh, I'm so fat. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.